Good morning. So today we'll take up MCQs related to science and technology mainly. And the first question for the class will be this, that is Global Navigation Satellite System. The question is about Global Navigation Satellite System. So it allows post-paid toll payments via linked bank accounts, true or false? Post-paid or prepaid? GNSS. So what kind of mechanism we have if you are going to pay a toll charges on expressways? So one of the ways is now RFID based FASTag. Correct? This is in place now. If you do not have a FASTag RFID device on the vehicle and you are paying the toll tax in cash, the number is going to be double the amount, the toll amount. So to punish this and make sure people go to FASTag, this provision has been used. So how does this FASTag work? There will be a RFID sticker associated in your vehicle, and related to that a wallet will be added. Correct? So in this wallet you have to maintain sufficient balance. So by the time you go to the toll booth, the amount will get calculated. That is, if you are starting from this point and this point, the distance will be calculated and the subsequent amount will be deducted once you reach the toll. So there is minimal or at least a few seconds of stoppage you have to give near the toll. So few stoppages or a few seconds of stoppages compulsory here, so that the scanning is done and this RFID sticker is read properly, then the movement will happen. So to replace this, now government has planned to go for GNSS tolling. Okay, so in GNSS tolling, the first concept is correct. It allows postpaid and prepaid also. Both are there. That is, if you want to go from one place to another place, you can buy the ticket previously, or you can also pay the ticket once you have crossed the distance as well. Second, it avoids congestion and idle fuel wastage at toll booths. This is 100% correct. Why? Here, what was the technology that we used? RFID. So to get the scanning at least for a few seconds, you'll have to stop near the toll booth. And if you try to enter Nice Road or anything near Bangalore, the blockages will be higher in the toll booths itself, because some vehicles may not be having their RFID tag intact, so the reading will be an issue. So it is still leading to queues. So to avoid that congestion and wastage, now this is based on satellite system. That is, satellite is placed in the low earth orbits. From here, the technology will be identifying that your vehicle has gone from here to this area. By default, the taxation will occur and the amount will get deducted. Okay, so this is better compared to RFID. So second statement is correct. So it operates only in areas with 5G connectivity. What do you think? With respect to 5G connectivity, it is true that 5G services provide seamless connectivity, or there is less, the data is not slow here, but the satellite will work even in other bandwidth also, not necessarily 5G technology only. Okay, this statement is not correct. So even if it is 3G, the technology will work, as satellites just have to track the movement of the vehicles. So what is the question? Which of the above are correct? Only two statements are correct here, hence the option will be B. But just in case you get some comparison question, tell me the technology used in FASTag versus GNSS. FASTag, GNSS. Here it is RFID, whereas here satellite. Here, is there any stoppage of the vehicles? The answer is yes, the vehicles stop. But here, not needed. There can be continuous movement of the vehicles and automatically the tolls will get deducted based on satellite information. Okay, so here there needs to be a prepaid wallet. Okay, you have to keep a wallet, which is usually Paytm wallet, and this Paytm wallet has to be filled with amount. From that amount, it will get deducted. But here, it is either prepaid or postpaid bank account directly. Okay, it is postpaid bank account. There is no need of maintaining or recharging your wallet, which is, one kind of ease of operation here. This is the third difference. Then what is the accuracy here? The accuracy is medium, because at times the scanner may not function properly, but here the accuracy is high as it is monitored by satellite data. Okay, so when it comes to accuracy, in case of FASTag it is medium, whereas for GNSS it is high, because it's tracking from above. Okay, so these are some basic information on global navigation satellite system based tolling. So first is technology and others things. If you apply the logic, you will understand why these things are different from each other. So FASTag and GNSS. Do you need a separate sticker for GNSS? Nothing like that. It is just monitoring your vehicle based on your location data. Whereas here you need to apply stickers and all those external stuff. If you don't do this, you will not be able to take the benefit. But here you need not put any efforts, things will go seamlessly easy. Okay, so that is why GNSS is better than FASTag, and government is promoting it. Okay, so if you read the statements, it allows both prepaid and postpaid options with automatic deduction from linked digital payment sources. It could be a bank account directly. Since there are no physical barriers, vehicles do not idle or queue, leading to reduced fuel consumption. Then GNSS works using satellite connectivity, does not depend on terrestrial 5G network. So whatever is the network, it has nothing to do with satellite connectivity. So these are the important points for GNSS. So next question is, yes, a particular terminology called perovskite solar cells. Perovskite solar cells. It is with respect to renewable energies, hence becomes important for the exam. So it is first statement, they operate with the need for sunlight. They exhibit ultra high efficiency using organic dyes. They offer high efficiency with low cost fabrication techniques. They use silicon wafers for enhanced photon trapping. So this is a new technology that has come up, and there is one negative about this technology, and Kerala University has recently brought a solution to that problem. Hence, this particular solar cells is in news. Okay, so the correct answer for this will be C. So basically, this is a solar cell. So the purpose of this cells in a solar photovoltaic panel is to absorb sunlight from the rays, from the heat. So it is usually done by perovskite cells using lead as a major component. Okay, and in that they have some concept called organic dye concept. So remember this as a subjective idea with respect to solar. So organic dyes are colors that are used on solar panels to attract radiation. So when the color is light, the radiation will be higher. So the solar energy trapped and generated will be higher. But in case of this perovskite solar dyes, we are not going to use these dyes at all. So without those dyes, we can make sure the energy efficiency is high and cost of fabrication is low, because you're not putting extra effort to add another layer to this particular idea. Okay, so that is the reason why it is considered to be cost effective technique. But you just imagine, if you have made a solar photovoltaic panel with this cell, and what after the end usage of the solar panel? lead, which is a heavy metal, will lead to pollution of the environment. So it is very dangerous and we need to think on a long-term scale. So Kerala University has recently identified a breakthrough where instead of lead, they are going to use tin. Okay, that is the reason it has come in the news. In the perovskite solar cells, the lead used to be original material. To make sure it is eco-friendly, we are going to use tin and two other rare earth elements in this cell from now. So this breakthrough has got a lot of appreciation and had been covered in Hindu page as well. Okay, rubidium and cesium also are being used here in addition to tin. So all three of them are not so harsh on environment. So in the aftermath of this particular solar panel, eco-friendliness will be maintained. Okay, that's the reason why solar perovskite solar cells are in the news. And will they use dye here? The dye won't be used in this case, okay, because it itself has a high energy tapping potential. So achieve high power conversion efficiency through solution based low temperature fabrication, making them cheaper and scalable. They do require sunlight. Organic dyes are for dye sensitized solar cells, not for this one. And PSCs rely on inorganic organic crystal structure, not silicon wafers. So silicon wafers were originally used, now it is replaced, it's not necessary anymore. Why it is in the news? Kerala University has developed a blueprint for replacing lead with tin, rubidium and cesium. These are the three components that will be used in the cells now. So hence this topic is crucial, and remember what is the purpose they are replacing it. Okay, so the next question is a kind of new technology that has come called moonlight solar panel technology. Okay, this is a very interesting idea here called moonlight solar panel technology. So basically what happens is you already have a solar panel installed in your houses, rooftop. So these solar panels will be active during the daytime due to presence of sun. So don't you think these are glass layers? The layers will be covered with glass and they themselves would have trapped so much of heat. But there is a concept in geography called radiative heat. What is radiative heat? In the evening time, if you see, whatever heat the earth has absorbed, it will lead to radiation in the evening. That is, it will start to shed its heat as the temperature falls. So what happens, even this panel that we have tries to shed the heat in the night time. So this radiative panel, so this is the solar panel you have, you'll add a separate device on top of this panel itself. Remember, you're not going to install a separate panel, you're going to create a panel or retrofit the existing solar device with a panel. This moonlight solar panel will trap the heat radiated by the solar panel in the night time. So using this heat, this small device will generate electricity. So you decide whether this will generate high electricity or this one. Solar will generate high electricity, this will be less. But how it is significant? You can use it for charging the mobile phones. Small amount of heat is enough, small amount of electricity up to 500 milliwatts will be created here. Okay, so this initiative is helpful in areas where in the evening the power outages are quite common. Okay, so it is called moonlight solar panels. So read the first statement, generate electricity using heat lost from their surfaces at night. This is what we call radiative heat, that is they emit heat in the night time. It works based on thermoelectric generators capturing radiative cooling differential, that is temperature difference from outer atmosphere to the solar panel. The temperature are completely different. This will be hot, the temperature will be cool. So this temperature difference using which it is going to absorb the heat from the solar panel, so that the outer atmosphere and the solar panels temperature becomes equal. So to that extent it's going to absorb and use it for small devices only. So remember, it's only 50 milliwatts. So what do you think will be the answer for this question? Is statement 2 explaining statement 1 properly? Yes, this solar panel it seems has 200 watts per day, but here 50 milliwatts only. So this has higher capacity than the other one. So the answer for this will be A. That is, second statement is rightly explaining the first statement. Okay, so when radiative cooling means what? Till the time the outer temperature and the temperature of the solar panel becomes equal, this device is going to absorb. So if you get a question that we need a separate device installed to tap the moonlight solar panel technology, we don't need a separate device. It is just a add-on to the existing devices. So it is not very costly to implement as well. This is one information on moonlight solar panels, which is in the research currently. Okay, so according to this, generate electricity at night via radiative cooling, heat radiating from Earth's surface into space on clear nights. That's the meaning of radiative cooling. So thermoelectric generators attached to modified solar panels capture temperature difference between panel and surrounding air, then convert it into electricity. So it works in a similar fashion, but in the night time. Okay, so one of the criticisms of solar power is that only, right? In the night, sun is not there, so you have to store solar energy and use it. So if we develop this temperature or technology further, the hiccup of solar technology may be slowly reduced. Okay, so next question is related to the most awaited technology in India called Starlink. Okay, so this is about Starlink. Okay, Starlink is one of the initiatives where the satellites will be deployed in the space. Okay, satellites will be deployed in the space. From that, data will be transmitted to different parts. But what is the idea that governments or elsewhere we use? We use spectrum auction. Correct? Spectrums are deployed. In this, high frequency spectrum, low frequency spectrum will be auctioned to the data packs. From here, the data will be disseminated, unlike the Starlink where satellites will be used. So imagine if this is a low Earth orbit satellite. So what is the advantages they'll have? There is one satellite here, there is one here, there is one here, one here. So it will create a kind of mesh of networks in the space, as a result of which the latency problem may be reduced as much as possible. What is latency? When you try to load and page in the internet, if it is loading, it means the data transfer from that satellite to the device is very slow. So if you are having a network of low Earth orbit satellites under Starlink, the latency comes down because the communication between the satellites is higher. If not this, the next satellites will provide the data to you. So this is how Starlink is going to be very, very useful for increasing the data speed in the country. So what is the first statement telling? It's an example of low Earth orbit satellite constellation designed to provide global broadcast services with significantly lower latency than traditional geo Earth orbit satellites. This statement is correct. Now second, a key advantage of internet constellation is inherent immunity to weather related signal disruptions. So even now, I think if you have this network called air fiber, there is a new concept in Jio and Airtel called air fiber. That is, unlike the optical fiber cables which enables you to with the data service, air fiber is like how you get network for mobile phones, you get network for TV also, like that. But if it starts raining very heavily, there is disruption in all this. Why? Because weather related disruption is impacting the high frequency spectrum. Okay, there are two belts here called Ka belt and V belt. Ka belt and V belt of spectrum, which is under high frequency. If some weather disruption happens, these spectrum will not allow the internet to work properly. But the idea is, if Starlink comes, will this go away? The answer is, it is not going to go away. Okay, this disruption is going to stay all the time. So the second statement is wrong. We call it rain fade. If you just remember the term rain fade, it is with respect to the blurring of the networks due to weather related patterns. So even if Starlink comes, as it is low earth satellites, the frequency will still be disturbed. Okay, especially higher frequency bands will be more disturbed. If you go for low frequency bands like C band, okay, this has better immunity to weather related ideas, not the high frequency bands, and most of the low earth orbit comes under high frequency ideas itself. So the second statement here is a wrong statement. Third, inter-satellite link uses laser or radio waves are crucial for creating a mesh network in space, enabling seamless data transfer and reducing reliance on numerous ground stations. This is correct. Instead of relying on stations in the ground to disseminate data, they will do it themselves, as it's a huge network and the data or information between them is shared using lasers and radio waves. So in this entire concept, only 1 and 3 are the correct statement. Second one is wrong. So what will be the right answer? Only 2. Okay, remember to distinguish. In regular spectrum, there are two bands: high band, high frequency band, low frequency band. High frequency band is Ka band, and V band. So low frequency is C band. Out of the two, which one is more immune to weather related disruptions? Low frequency band is more immune, whereas high frequency band is less immune. And if you see, this Starlink is going to give us a high frequency transfer of data, as a result of which they are also not immune to rain fade. Rain fade is when the weather patterns disrupt the signals or data movement, and hence they are going to give small solution in the form of a mesh network, which may reduce the rain fade idea but not completely remove the concept of rain fade. Okay, so and how between the satellites information is shared? Using lasers and radio waves. This much information is enough, and in India, Starlink is going to collaborate with either Jio or Airtel to provide these services in the country. Okay, this much information is sufficient on this topic called Starlink. Okay, similar concepts are there in other countries also, called OneWeb. In OneWeb, India and UK are collaborating for a similar pattern. Okay, OneWeb is a collaboration between India and UK to provide low Earth orbit related satellites. Starlink is belonging to USA. Okay, this much information we have on this concept called Starlink. Okay, so if you remember, yeah, we'll just see the questions. Yeah, as it's low Earth orbit, it's very close to surface, have significantly lower latency. Satellites using Ka band and V band are susceptible to rain fade. ACM techniques mitigate but do not eliminate weather disruptions. Inter-satellite link use laser or waves for mesh network, routing data efficiency without passing through ground stations. This details we have already discussed. So fifth question is, just before you read the question, if you recall 2019, this was the year when, or a few years before this, India started getting smart watches, or what was it called earlier? Bands. The original one was band, now we have got smart watches. So when these bands were introduced in 2019, there was a question in prelims on what are the application of smart bands that are worn on wrist. So UPSC was interested in what all can be done using a technology which had just started its footsteps in India. But in other countries, it has already achieved many other parameters. So it was like tracking your sleep, guiding you when you're walking on the road. All these things today smartwatches are already doing. We can imagine it. But in 2019, many of these questions were, is this technology possible? Can we do this? Was the kind of question. So now there is one more new idea coming up called non-contact wearable devices. That is, you are not going to wear anything like this on the wrist, or probably you're not having some direct touch, but similar concept is taking shape now. So try to read this and see what will be the answer for non-contact wearable device. So what is the first statement telling? The device primarily measures internal physiological parameters like heart rate, blood oxygen saturation without skin contact. So in this topic, these things are the two parameters here, like heart rate and blood oxygen saturation is not monitored by non-contact wearable device. Okay, how will you measure heartbeat and oxygen saturation without even coming close to the skin? So idea here is, there'll be a patch established in the skin's vicinity. Okay, it is not entirely like a watch or anything, but a small device that will be measuring what goes into your skin, what is emitted by your skin. Okay, so you would be taking in carbon dioxide, water vapor, then there is something called volatile organic compounds. These are integrating with your skin on a molecular basis. So how much of it will try to study a particular patch of your skin by identifying what quantity of CO2, water vapor or VOC is interacting with your skin. Based on that, it is showing you multiple results. And the application is not to study whether your heart rate is sound or not. It is mainly to heal wounds. Okay, if a person who is especially diabetic and is having a patch of skin, you would be familiar with the concept called gangrene, where the skin infection leads to amputation in diabetes patients. So when the skin is very sensitive, you may not be able to treat it with much care. So using these kind of non-contact wearable devices will enable the skin to repair properly and heal properly without coming in close contact to the skin. Okay, the sensors of these devices will be constantly monitoring a patch of your skin where the wound is actually there. Okay, so see the second question. It employs a sealed chamber creating a microclimate adjacent to the skin to measure molecular flux. This is what is done by non-contact wearable device. It will create a skin patch. What we call it? A microclimate adjacent to the skin. So this microclimate, besides the skin, if your skin is here, besides that, what is emitted from the skin will be monitored. So is it not having any contact with your skin directly? So third one of its significant applications includes monitoring wound healing, particularly in diabetic patients. This is also correct, and especially for those with sensitive skin, if any issue is there, your skin's outer layer or somewhere far away from the skin, the measurements will help you to understand what is going wrong and then treat the skin with care. So first statement is wrong. It's not going to measure any physiological parameters like heart rate or sleeping pattern. Anything that a smartwatch does is not done by these devices. If your hand and skin is here, Here a microclimate will be created. This microclimate will be studied to analyze what is going into your skin, what is going out of your skin. From here the measurements will be done and the treatment can be done for a damaged patch on the skin like this. Okay. So what is the correct answer for this? Only 2. That is second and third one is correct. First one is a wrong statement. Fine. So what is the explanation? Molecular flux through skin, water vapor, CO2 and volatile organic compounds, not internal parameters. This is something we have studied. Yeah, it is for diabetic patient. Non-invasive nature avoids damage or fragile to healing skin. So it's not intruding anywhere into your skin. Okay, this is the idea behind non-contact wearable devices. So next question is from desalinization process. So where was Iran's desalinization plant that was bombarded by Israel had blasted Iran's desalinization plant? There is one island. No, Kurg Island has oil installation to the east of Kurg. QESHM, Keshem Island. Keshem Island is the island in which desalinization plant of Iran was there, and it came in the news for getting blasted by Israel. So just look into the technology of desalinization. So what is the first statement about desalinization? It is talking about reverse osmosis is highly energy intensive process compared to solar distillation and is rarely used to its inefficiency. So we have seen two technologies here in this statement. One is solar distillation, reverse osmosis. Come to the second statement. Nanofiltration uses nanotube membrane with high permeability, can remove salts and trace pollutants with higher energy usage than reverse osmosis. So next one is nanofiltration. This is one more technology that is there. Then the third one, gas hydrate formation. Okay, gas hydrate formation. So these are 4 technologies for desiltation of water from salt water. So if you see in all these processes, energy intensive processes are better or energy efficient processes are better? Energy efficient. So if you see, the energy efficiency increases as we move from that end to this end. Okay, because this is a evolutionizing technology. First we had solar distillation, which is good in distilling, but the process is, it is high energy intensive. Okay, intensity is higher. Intensity is high in solar distillation, whereas reverse osmosis, regular RO plants that we have seen here, uses compared to this less energy. Okay, compared to solar distillation, RO uses less energy. Compared to RO, nano filters use even less energy because it is something newly existing compared to RO. Then latest one is gas hydrate formation. This is even more efficient. Okay, so if you see the spectrum now, first one is solar distillation, second RO, third nanofiltration, fourth is gas hydrates. Now read the statement. What is the first one telling? Reverse osmosis is high energy intensive process compared to solar distillation and is rarely used due to its inefficiency. True or false? It is wrong. This statement is wrong because it's better than solar. Second, nanofiltration uses nanotube membrane with high permeability. Till here it is perfectly correct. Nanotubes are used for high permeability, that is movement of water. Can remove salts and trace pollutants with higher energy use than RO. Is it high energy use or less? It is less. So second statement also is wrong here, because nanofiltration is better than RO. Then gas hydrate formation. This is a very new concept that has evolved, where the technology is using two important gases like methane or CO2. What do they use? CH4 or CO2. They mix this with salt water and create a block like this. Okay, a block is created, a kind of a cube is created using CH4 and salt water, or CO2 and salt water. After creating this block, they will put it in sunlight and evaporate all this CH4 and CO2. They'll try to remove the gaseous particles from it, which will leave us only with salt crystals here. So when you put condensation here, you would have heard about the concept of distilled water. Like in the distillation process, what do? They will collect the evaporated water on the surface, which is believed to be cleaner than the salt particles that remain below. So using the distillation process, they will remove the gas here. The water will slowly be allowed to evaporate, crystallize it or use it, and this cube will be left with salt crystals. So using this technology, they are going to try to clean the water, which is more energy efficient. This is the meaning of gas hydrate formation. For desalinization, for combining gas with seawater to form solid hydrates, upon temperature rise, the gas is released leaving purified water. So this is the concept of gas hydrate formation. Okay, so the third statement is correct here. First and second is wrong. Then last is brine disposal. What do you mean by brine? Brine is salt water. Extremely high salt water is called brine solution. So brine disposal from desalinization plant is generally considered environmentally benign. Benign is safe. The meaning of the word benign means safe. So just think of this. Salt water, it is extremely salty in nature. Can you just release it wherever you want in such a way that it's not harming the environment at all? It will lead to salinity changes. If you are releasing in fresh water, it will make the fresh water salty. If you are releasing it into areas near the ocean, it will change the local salinity levels. So it may impact algae and other organisms. So it is not benign, it is dangerous. Okay, so this statement also is wrong. So what is the question? Which of the above are correct? We have only one statement correct here, hence the answer will be A. Okay, this is desalinization process. So remember this table. I think it will be easier for you to answer questions on this. Okay, so yes, RO is the most widely used desalinization technique, generally more energy efficient than thermal distillation. Then nanofiltration typically operates at low pressure, has low energy use compared to RO. Gas hydrates formed under specific pressure or temperature. When separated and heated or depressurized, gases release leaving purified water. Brine disposal is significant environmental concern. That's the biggest problem. Harms marine ecosystem by raising salinity content of the soil. Okay, this is about desalinization. Next question is on a very simple one, Bharat forecasting system. So first statement is, it was developed by Indian Space Research Organization to improve satellite-based weather prediction. True or false? Looking at the statement, it looks kind of correct as it is satellite-based weather prediction. And this is also wrong. ISRO is also wrong. Okay, so the idea is, who has developed it? Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, headquartered in Pune. TM, Tropical Meteorology. Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, have developed this, and it is not satellite-based weather monitoring. It is computation or numerical based. You will do calculations based on which you will predict the atmosphere. Okay, it is numerical based, not satellite based weather prediction model. And as it is numerical based, you'll have to do a lot of calculations, and if human beings sit to do it, it may take a very long period of time. Hence, it is supported by usage of a supercomputer called ARCA. Okay, so Bharat forecast system is powered by supercomputer ARCA and can provide forecast down to the panchayat level. This is a correct statement. Okay, first statement is wrong because it's not satellite based, it is numerical based. And who is doing that calculation? Supercomputer ARCA. And because of the calculation, we are not telling district wise meteorology information, we are telling panchayat level meteorology information, which is what is making the system unique. And it is very efficient because it is reducing the prediction time by 60%. Highly efficient model because it is reducing the prediction time by 60%. That is important. Then it is showing forecast for the next 2 hours. So very quickly it keeps on upgrading itself. Okay, so immediately 2 hours forecast can be done, and small villages also are covered in this. That's the uniqueness of, and it is highest global resolution weather prediction model compared to USA or UK. Indian model is more having highest weather resolution pattern. Okay, this much is the information on Bharat forecast system. Okay, it was developed by IITM Pune, Ministry of Earth Sciences, numerical weather prediction model, supercomputer ARCA, 11.77 petaflops to generate high localized data for agriculture and disaster management. So highest global resolution means it's checking the weather for 6-kilometer grid. One grid will be of 6 kilometers. If you compare it with USA or UK, they monitor it for 8 kilometers. So the smaller the grid, more accurate the weather prediction will be. Hence we call it highest global resolution for this matter. 60% faster than previous model Pratyush. There used to be a model called Pratyush which is not so efficient anymore. Supports nowcasting for 2 hours only. So very brief amount of period, it gives highly accurate data. This is called Bharat weather forecasting model. Okay, next question is for Genome India project. If you look at the term, this is a very easy question. Genome India project, which of the following ethical considerations are addressed by it? So data privacy and secure storage of genetic information, government is doing it, hence it will manage the data privacy. Second, informed consent from participants. When the data is being collected, participants will be taken the permission from. Third, commercialization of genetic data for global pharmaceutical companies. Do you think this is ethical? It is unethical. When your data is being sold to pharma companies for profit, it is unethical. So 3 is wrong. Non-discrimination in genetic research outcomes is correct. Okay, whatever will be the outcome, there will be no discrimination shown. So how many of the above statements are correct here? Only 1 will be correct. Sorry, 3 will be correct, 1 is wrong. Third one is wrong. So answer will be C. So what is this concept of Genome India project now? Who is undertaking this project? It is a research initiative. Okay, it is a research initiative usually done for the purpose of identifying genetic diversity of Indian population. How diversified India's population is, to do further research on that, we have this Genome India project, and more than 10,000 plus samples have been collected and studied here under the project. Okay, and any information under this will be used only for research purpose, will not be commercially utilized. So it is to understand the depth of the unique genotype of India. Okay, so this is the topic. We'll see the explanation for it, because there is one more similar concept coming up. So storage, yes, we have seen all of them. The project focuses on research and public benefit. Ethical guideline emphasizes non-commercial use of genetic data. So it will not be sold. Okay, coming to a similar question now. Look at this. It is called Phenome India Initiative and National Biobank. This is Phenome India. The earlier one was Genome India. So this initiative is basically with the purpose of creating something called health database. Okay, health database, that is the genome of humans, of Indians, will be collected to identify the health risk they are facing. Okay, based out of the uniqueness of their caste, region, lifestyle, all this will be monitored, and how much are they susceptible to modern non-communicable diseases, they will try to measure this, and it is styled on the lines of UK Biobank. Okay, this is correct. Based on the UK's inspiration, they have created National Biobank in India, and this project is called Phenome India Initiative. What is the main purpose? To collect the health database and to give precision medicine. Okay, what is precision medicine? Customized medicine or tailored medicine. So see the second statement. The key objective is to enable personalized medicine and gene guided therapies by analyzing genomic and lifestyle data. This is the purpose of the whole project. So database for giving gene guided therapies. So the biobank data collection is limited to 1,000 individuals from metropolitan cities to ensure data quality. Nothing like that. It will be discriminatory if you do like that. So third point is wrong. 1 and 2 only are correct. So Genome India is just to have a genetic idea about how unique India's genome type is compared to rest of the world, and using this data for further research. Whereas Phenome India initiative is to provide customized medication to the people and to predict how lifestyle, region, caste and living habits are inspiring different diseases in a person based on their genetics. So this is a health database, whereas that is for research purpose. Both are different, and Phenome India is leading to the development of national biobanks on the grounds of UK Biobank. This information is enough, and remember the difference between the two. Okay, so this is the information on Phenome India and Data Bank. So modeled after UK Biobank, tailored to capture India's diversity, personalized medication by analyzing genomic profiles, aims to collect data from 10,000 individuals, not 1,000, representative of entire country, not just metropolitan cities. Okay, so next question is related to a very common object in our daily life called silica gel. Where have we seen them rapidly? In shoes, bags, all the leather products. Nowadays, even in food packets, you see that silica gels are usually given. So what is the application of that? So silica gel sachets are commonly placed in packaged consumer goods like electronics and shoes. This is correct. Silica gel works as a desiccant by being highly porous at the nanoscale, which allows it to absorb water molecules through capillary condensation. So when you read the topic of intestine in biology, you see that there are certain components or organelles in the body called villi. Villi will be in your small intestine, which will increase surface area of absorption. So in a similar pattern, silica gel also works like increasing the area for absorbing moisture. And as they are in the nanoscale, that is very small in their physical appearance, they work like a porous sponge that will absorb a lot of moisture around them. And leather and electronics both are having an impact from moisture. If they get wet, they'll not be able to function normally. So to absorb the excess moisture in the atmosphere, silica gel sachets are placed which will absorb the moisture, and this technology is what we call capillary condensation. So they are structured in small molecular way which will absorb lot of moisture that is there in the vicinity. Okay, so silicon dioxide will be arranged in different columns in this packets. Okay, so answer for this will be A. That is second statement is explaining why first statement is correct. So what is there here? Yeah, it is included in package pharmaceuticals to protect from moisture damage, enormous internal surface area via microscopic pores enabling absorption of water molecules through capillary condensation. This term is crucial. So one extra thing you can do here is, you can see here they are put in pharmaceutical products also. So pharmaceutical products, many of them are consumables. So will a leaching of silica into any of these food products impact humans or not? Do this extra work. I wanted to tell the answer, but do this little homework, okay? Whether that is the reason why it had come in the news. Whether this silica gel sachets, when it is put in food products also, is it safe for human consumption or it is just increasing the shelf life of a product? This small work can be done by you to just put a value addition to what we have done to this topic. Next question is silent salt consumption epidemic. And as you know, India is becoming increasingly the capital of many non-communicable diseases in the world. The components which cause such non-communicable diseases are important for the exam. One of them is salt. What is the first statement? The average salt consumption in both urban and rural India surpasses the World Health Organization's recommended daily limit. What is the World Health Organization's recommended daily limit of salt? We cannot even imagine. 5 grams per day. Only 5 grams per day. And in urban area, what is the average salt consumption? 9.2 grams per day, and in rural areas it is better, 5.6 grams per day. Why it is less in rural area and more in urban areas? Till now we have understood the dangers of something called added sugar. So many people are aware about added sugar and will not try to consume products that have added sugar as an ingredient in them. But still the urban India doesn't know that added salt is also more dangerous. And where is added salt coming from? In rural areas, even now the penetration of the packaged chips is very, very less compared to urban areas. So the easy availability of packaged chips, which is definitely a major source of added salt, is one of the reasons. And all the processed foods have added salts in them. So as availability of this is higher in urban areas, the consumption of salt is 9.2 grams per day, which is very, very high. So first statement is correct. It is in both urban and rural areas higher than World Health Organization's per day limit. So ICMR NIE intervention program exclusively focuses on providing low sodium salt substitutes to the general population in Punjab and Telangana. So basically ICMR is doing a research on how salts are being impacting the humans in large scale, and they are conducting a research on a set of population in Punjab and Haryana. Okay, what is the term used here? General population. It is not general population. They have kept a set of population whom they are observing by providing low sodium salt substitute. When they provide this substitute, how their body is responding, they will study it and then prescribe it for common usage elsewhere. So the second statement is partially correct. So this is wrong option here. Okay. So exclusively focuses on providing low sodium salt substitutes to the set population, that is the research on whom they are doing the research in Punjab and Telangana is correct. Okay, so the second statement is wrong, but just remember it's a study done by ICMR that is going on now. So excessive sodium intake is linked to higher risk of non-communicable diseases such as hypertension and cardiovascular ailments. This is a very common point, and yes, the third answer is correct. So the first one and third one are correct. Second one is wrong, hence only 2 is the right answer for this. Okay, so urban India 9.2 grams, rural 5.6, WHO is 5 grams. Then, yeah, 3-year study, counseling, targeting hypersensitive individuals, not general population, only the study of people who are high in hypertension. Okay, so it lead to hypertension, stroke, heart attacks, arterial stiffness, and chronic kidney disease. Okay, so this is about salt intake in the country. Next is, yeah, another topic related to biotechnology called dengue all. So it is India's indigenous dengue vaccine called dengue all. So vaccine is based on strain originally developed by ICMR. So here we may definitely go wrong. If you see, it is indigenous here, hence we will mark the first option correctly. But the original strain of this is developed by USA. So from them we have taken the strain. Based on this, it is manufactured in India in the large scale. So the first option is wrong. It is not based on original strain made by India, but by US National Institute of Health. Okay, they have formed the original strain. It is called TV003. This has been given as a license to Panacea Biofarm. Panacea Biofarm is an Indian biopharma company. They have produced the license to manufacture dengue all vaccine. Hence, we call it indigenously developed, not because it has been decoded by Indian ICMR originally. So, indigenous because an Indian company has got the license to manufacture this. So, first statement is wrong. Second, it's a tetravalent vaccine designed to provide immunity against all 4 known serotypes of dengue virus. So, dengue virus is caused by DENV 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 serotypes are there, and each one of them is different from the other. So, we have many other vaccines also in the pipeline which try to give coverage under 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 are usually ignored. But what is the name of this vaccine? Dengue all. All means all 4 serotypes of dengue. It will give the protection against. So, the second statement is correct. So, what is the question here? Which of these statements are incorrect? So, the answer will be only A. First statement is not right here. Okay, so dengue fever is going to be coming under control now, and they are going to launch this from 2027. Dengue all will be useful in the available in the public domain from 2027, and the third stage of clinical trial I think is going on in many places in India now. Okay, the vaccine is derived from TB003 and 005 strain developed by US National Institute of Health, not ICMR. Technology was licensed to Indian firms including Panacea Biotech. They were the first ones to get it. It's a tetravalent, protects against all 4 dengue serotypes. Critical as one serotype does not confer immunity to the others. That is, if you take a vaccine for DENV1, you will still get infected from others 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so this is the reason why this is crucial, as it's providing protection for all 4 serotypes of dengue fever. Okay, so this is one topic that's crucial. Next is, yeah, human rated launch vehicle. Human rated launch vehicle. So you would have guessed it, this topic is related to human space mission of Indian government called Gaganyaan mission. So the first topic here is talking about building the module from the scratch or not. So human rated launch vehicle is an entirely new launch vehicle designed from scratch by HSFC for Gaganyaan mission. Is it true? What is the human rated vehicle that which vehicle are we using to send humans to space? It is GSLV Mach 3, also called LVM Mach 3. So have we built it from the scratch newly? We already had GSLV. So it is not a vehicle that was newly built or designed. We took the existing GSLV Mach 3 and have modified it to make sure it is human rated launch vehicle. Okay, so it is GSLV Mach 3, also called LVM3. It is already existing. We have modified it further. Second, it incorporates a crew escape system. This has come in news twice in 2025. That is, 2 times they have been tested and it is successful. What have they done this in testing this? There is a module, or we can say a capsule, that in which we will keep the human beings. So if something happens to the aircraft, they should be able to escape out safely. This will be blasting, going off, anything happens to it, no problem, but humans should be escaping safely out of it. So to test this, ISRO collaborated with DRDO, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force and ISRO. These 4 have collaborated in atmospheric re-entry or capsule testing mission. So what they did, DRDO developed this entire cube, how to make sure it is human safe. Then Indian Navy is coming later. What Air Force will do, it took this in a Chinook helicopter. You cannot keep humans and test it right away. They took this cruise escape system with a Chinook helicopter, dropped it into the Indian Ocean region, and once it was dropped, Indian Navy came to rescue this crew system, brought it back safely to the shore. So just to test, in case if this gets dropped into the water, will they be proper to rescue or not? So, and it was very successful both the times. This was tested 2 times in 2025, hence it is in use. And when will this crew escape system function? There are different stages when you are launching a launch vehicle. First is when it has to take off after the thrust is established. Next, after the 3 stages, GSLV Mach 3 has 3 stages mainly. So each components have to get detached in multiple times in the space. After that, it will be launched in the low Earth orbit. So in this entire stage, where do you have escape option? Where do you provide escape option? The question tells it incorporates crew escape system, is operational only during the initial liftoff phase to ensure maximum safety. That is when the thrust is put. In case the thrust is not working or if the whole device catches fire, that is the riskiest phase, and that is the time only we have crew. That is wrong. Crew escape system is there throughout the entire system. Whenever the astronauts feel that we are not safe, not something may go wrong here, they can press the escape button, just come out of this whole module will get detached from the system, and it will come and fall into the Indian Ocean region, and it will be tracked by ISRO's ground stations, and once it is tracked, Navy will go and rescue them. It is not only in the initial liftoff phase, it is in the entire phase, because life of the astronauts is more important than any other thing here. Okay, so it is only during liftoff phases, wrong. Then the vehicle is a 3-stage configuration utilizing solid, liquid and cryogenic propellants is a correct statement. That is what is GSLV made out of. Okay, 3 stages. First stage is solid stage, second is liquid stage, third is a indigenously developed cryogenic stage. So 1 is wrong, 2 is wrong, only third one is correct here. So which one of the above are correct? Only A. So why are we going into the space? To do microgravity experiments. It has already come as a question in 2025. So just remember this Gaganyaan mission's potential. Okay, it's not a new design. Human rated version of ISRO's proven LVM with systems upgraded for human space flight safety. So CES is operational throughout the entire ascent phase, lift off to orbital injection till it goes into the orbit, not just during the initial lift off. 3 stages, S200 solid rocket boosters, liquid core stage, cryogenic upper stage. So 3 stages of GSLV Mach 3 are there in this. Okay, so this much is enough related to our Gaganyaan mission. Next topic here is a biology related topic. It was in news in all the major newspapers, called Crib blood group. Crib blood group. It was recently found in a woman from Kolar district. So what is the first statement? It is a new antigen discovered within the common ABO blood group system. That is correct. Okay, so the next statement here is, the discovery was made in an individual whose blood showed pan-reactivity, meaning it was compatible with all tested blood groups. So answer question here is incorrect. Okay, so the antigen discovered, is it from ABO blood group here? It is different. The first statement is actually not correct. It is wrong. It's not ABO blood group. What is ABO blood group? A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, O positive, O negative. This is entirely different from all the 3 major blood groups that is commonly seen. So it is not correct. First one is not correct. Second, the discovery was made in an individual whose blood showed pan-reactivity, meaning it was compatible with all tested blood samples. Compatible means it can be given to any person. Is it true? It is not matching with the ABO blood group only. How will it be compatible with all the other blood groups? Compatibility is, if this person donates blood to anybody, anybody can become a universal, this person can become a universal donor then. But which blood group is called universal donor blood group? O negative. It is not Crib blood group. So second statement is also wrong in this case. So answer will be 1 and 2 only. Okay, what is unique here? There is something called decay accelerating factor, DAF. So in that decay accelerator factor, antigens are found in the blood group. Hence it is very, very unique. It was discovered from a woman in Kolar district, but medicated in Bangalore. It was identified when some tests were done to treat the person, and she did not show compatibility with any of the existing blood group. They got a doubt about how is it possible that her blood is not matching with any of the 6 blood types. Then upon further research, it was identified that her blood group is very different and it's called crib blood group. Okay, so this much is more than enough. You can just do little extra work on what is the different types of, what is the RH factor, that is negative and positive, and how A to O blood groups are defined. Universal donor is O negative, universal receiver A positive. They are the ones who can take blood from anybody. And which is that unique blood group called Bombay blood group? There is a blood group called Bombay blood group. It is very, very rarely available. It is called AB positive. AB1 is AB negative. Negative blood group itself is very rare. Within that, AB negative is the rarest of all. So that is called Bombay blood group. Okay, so just remember this as the new blood group has been discovered. The crib is a new antigen in Cromer blood group system, not ABO. Okay, it's a Cromer blood group system, a rare system, not the ABO system. Cromer antigens are located on decay accelerating factor protein. On which particular protein the antigen is located, based on that it is determined. So pan reactivity means the blood was incompatible with all tested samples, including O positive. It is actually O negative universal donor. This compatibility triggered the investigation. Even from O negative, the person couldn't take the blood group, as a result of which they got a doubt and did the investigation. Okay, it is called Cromer blood group system, different from ABO. This much details is enough. Next is related to HOPE, Human Outer Planetary Exploration Station. Okay, so the main purpose of HOPE, I'll tell you, you choose the answer based on that. So the main intention of Human Outer Planetary Exploration Station is to give you an experience of how it feels when you're not on the Earth. So giving a psychological and physiological experience of how you would feel if you are on Mars or Moon. So to create that, what kind of atmosphere you should create? Something that is similar to the atmospheres of Moon and Mars. So where such atmosphere can be available, it should be a very harsh environment, should not have good amount of oxygen availability, should be a rugged terrain or having a lot of stability in, or let's say temperature variations will be very high in these areas. All these are available in Ladakh, which is very similar to the environment of Mars and Moon. So what is going to be the answer here? Proximity to ISRO's satellite launch facilities. Where is satellite launch facility? It is in Sriharikota. This is in Ladakh. So geothermal springs which can be used to power the research station. That's not a concern at all. Status is as major astronomical observation site with clear skies. This we will end up marking because Ladakh and Lahul Spiti Valley of Himachal Pradesh are very well known for astronomical tourism now. But that is not the answer. It's high altitude, cold desert terrain that simulates lunar and Martian environment. This is the purpose of HOPE mission. Hence, we have chosen Ladakh and not any other place in the country, because it stimulates or try to recreate high altitude cold desert region similar to Moon and Mars surface. So usually we will get confused on C and D. So answer will be D for this. And there is hardly any vegetation available here, and the environment is very, very strong. It is similar to what is there on Moon and Mars. Okay, so the Soker Basin is high altitude, cold desert landscape with sparse vegetation, extreme temperature fluctuation closely resembling conditions on moon and Mars. HOPE stimulates off Earth conditions. If you get the term off Earth conditions, it is correct. It's going to recreate non-Earth like conditions. It means to study psychological and physiological impacts of humans in isolation, preparing them for future crewed interplanetary missions. In future, if we send them to space, they should be able to be compatible. So ISRO launch facilities are not nearby, no geological springs are involved. It's an analog environment, not primarily an astronomical observatory. Hence the others are wrong. Next one is captive non-public networks. This was recently mentioned by our MeitY ministry in one of the policy documents, so hence it's in the news. Okay, captive non-public network, public networks. Okay, so it is a shared public network infrastructure that enterprises can lease for private use. What is the meaning of this? It's a shared public infrastructure that enterprises can lease for private use. It is not like that. The public infrastructure or the networks will be given dedicatedly for an enterprise to use. Let's say we as an Insights is an entire team and we can go and purchase the network only for our use. Nobody else will get to share the network here for usage. So that is the meaning of captive non-public network. So the name itself is telling it is not meant for everybody. It is meant for a dedicated group of people for specific usage. You apply for it, you will be allocated the usage for that. So it is shared public network is wrong. It is not shared. It is meant for specific usage by a enterprise or an industry. Okay. First statement is wrong. The only primary advantage of a CNPN is its ability to provide ultra low latency, which is critical for real time industrial automation. If there is a semiconductor industry which is relying on AI and automation tools, you need all the time information or data should be available. So the latency should be ultra low. That is correct. That is very less speed variation should be there. But what about the first one here? They have used the term only. Do you think anybody will invest in a technology because it has only one advantage? Even if you apply this logic, second statement will be wrong. It has other advantages also. Let's say if everybody is using a similar network, don't you think the ability to hack the system becomes very easy? Everybody will be getting access to what networks you are using. But if you have a specific network system given only to your industry, the outsider's ability to hack your system is very less. Hence, it is giving you high degree of privacy. That is the major concern here. Okay, high degree of privacy will be given, and the first advantage is low latency. Ultra low latency is when they use 5G technology for giving ultra low latency. Second advantage is privacy will be given, and because public and open people cannot use this network, only the users of the company will get to use it. The third advantage is you can customize the network to your usage, and that is what is customed or tailored usage benefit of CNPNs. Okay, so it is providing many advantages. It is not only one advantage. Okay, what is the first advantage they are providing? Ultra low latency, privacy will be higher, customized products can be generated. That is the advantage. Third, network slicing, a feature of public 5G, is not applicable to CNPN. This is also wrong. Why it is wrong? Because this itself is the feature of CNPN. Network slicing is, I can cut the technology or the network telling that this department will use this much network, this department will use this much, and you use this much only for this purpose. So I'll be getting to customize. That customization process is called network slicing. It is not there in public 5G. It is there only for CNPN. This is the advantage that we have discussed here, that only they will be having the ability ability to customize the packets. So all the three statements here are wrong. So what will be the correct answer? D. Okay, so for this, every single statement is wrong. Okay, this will enable people to use the networks in a better fashion. That's the reason why government wants to give this option to the private players. Okay, so CNPN is a dedicated standalone private network for exclusive use of a single enterprise, not shared public network. Then its ultra low latency is not the only advantage. Others include high throughput, that is quicker processing, enhanced privacy or security, customized architecture for specific industrial needs. Then network slicing is applicable to CNPNs, allowing one physical network to be partitioned into multiple virtual networks for different operations. It can be partitioned into different operations. That is called network slicing. So this in itself could be a terminology asked. Network slicing was recently seen in the news. It is related to which of the following? So just remember the term network slicing is with respect to CNPNs. Okay, so next question will be on food irradiation, a very easy question, but there are a lot of debates going on this topic with respect to quality of food going out of India. Hence, just read this topic. What is the first statement? Food irradiation prevents spoilage by slowing down decay and delaying premature ripening. This is a correct statement. Why? Because in food irradiation, what do we use? We use spectrums to make sure the laser lights are passed through the food and the process of aging is slowed down. So first statement is correct. Premature ripening will slow down means shelf life will improve. Second, irradiation processing usually requires multiple treatments to achieve food safety. This is a disadvantage that irradiation wants to solve in food. Other kind of food chemical process, if you are putting chemicals on the food and multiple processes are there, it is more complex, whereas irradiation just pass it through certain beams of light spectrums, it will be cleared there. So second is a wrong option. Irradiation usually requires only one treatment, not multiple treatments. Third one, it reduces the need for chemical preservatives, contributing to a more sustainable food supply chain. That's the purpose of irradiation. Then Codex Alimentarius Commission played a key role in setting global standards for food irradiation. This is also correct. Only the second statement is wrong. So answer is 1, 3 and 4. Okay, so this is about food irradiation, and what is the explanation telling? We'll see. It is prevents spoilage by slowing decay and delaying ripening, sprouting or germination. Irradiation typically requires just one exposure treatment to achieve desired food safety effects, reduces the need for chemical preservatives. Codex Alimentarius Commission is the one which has established global standards for food irradiation. Okay, this is correct. So only second statement is wrong in this case. Okay, coming to the next question, a very important question because of the Supreme Court case on the topic. You read the question, you will be able to answer it easily. The statement is with regards to rabies. What is the first statement? It's a neglected tropical disease that is preventable through timely post-exposure prophylaxis. Okay, that is, it's a kind of vaccine. Okay, if you see, is it a neglected tropical disease? It is a neglected tropical disease according to World Health Organization. So what is the major source of humans getting infected from rabies virus? Which animal spreads it to us? Dogs. And why it is in the news now? Because of the Supreme Court's judgment with respect to how to deal with the stray dog menace in the country. So with that topic, rabies becomes crucial. So what is this post-exposure prophylaxis? Immediately after getting exposed to a disease or getting bitten by a dog, if you take this injection, which is a vaccination, the body will get immunity to fight against the system. But when you should take it? Immediately after getting bitten by an infected animal. So the primary mode of transmission to humans is through the bite of infected bats. This is wrong. It's not bats. But do bats also carry rabies virus? They do carry. Bats and many other mammals also have rabies virus, but 99% of the time humans get rabies from infected dogs, not from any other animal. So second statement is wrong. Okay, so yeah, the disease has a very short incubation period with symptoms always appearing within 1 week of exposure. Is this correct? 1 week of exposure. This is very slow onset of the disease. Okay, rabies vaccine, many of the time the virus may lay dormant in your body. Whenever your immune system falls, it will start showing the symptoms, and by that time the load of rabies virus in your body will be so high that nobody can help you out even after detecting that a person is infected with rabies virus. So it is very slow onset of symptom. The incubation period is very high. It is not short. This statement is wrong. So once clinical symptoms manifest, that is, you start showing, one of the symptoms is hydrophobia in rabies. That is, you will get very scared of water, hydrophobia. Okay, the disease has a high survival rate. That is, the moment you are diagnosed with a rabies, the survival rate is high. That is, you will be given a medication and you will be solved with the problem. Is that the case? The fatality rate is 100%. What is the meaning of fatality rate is 100%? If you were not taking injection the moment you got bitten by a rabies infected dog, and you don't know that you're infected by this disease, by the time it is 3 months and 4 months, at times stretching to years together, once your immunity is compromised, you will start showing the symptoms of the disease. Hydrophobia is one of them, and you realize that something is wrong and go to the doctor. If the rabies is seen in your body, 100% the person will die. They are not going to be surviving, and that is what we call fatality rate being 100%. Nobody can save a person after getting infected from rabies, and if they have not taken a vaccine to prevent it. Okay, so what will be the correct statement? How many are correct? Only one statement here is correct. Second, third and fourth are wrong options here. And also paralysis is also a symptom there. Okay, hydrophobia and paralysis. Usually a person undergoes these two, and that is what we call as clinical symptoms of the disease. Yes, so this is about rabies, and WHO has classified it as neglected tropical disease, 100% preventable if post-exposure prophylaxis vaccine, that plus rabies immunoglobulin is given promptly. This is what we call 10 injections that is very popularly going with a dog bite. Okay, 99% of the human rabies are caused by infected dogs, not bats. Dogs are the primary vector for human beings. Incubation is highly variable, commonly from 1 to 3 months, sometimes even longer, depends on bite location and how much virus the dog is giving to the person. Once clinical symptoms appear, rabies is almost invariably fatal. Mortality rate is really 100%. There is no effective treatment at this stage. It is not curable at all. Okay, so next is also a very interesting topic. Again, if you go to the UPSC previous year question, there was a topic on prebiotic and probiotic in your prelims, because there is a lot of information in the world now related to probiotics and prebiotics, and it has become a good marketing tool for many of the companies. Related to this, a question had come on a similar note. This also is a topic, so try to read about this. Why we have included this in the sense, there is a very popular practice now becoming viral. It was a part of Indian system from long time, but now it has gone viral and everybody wants to do this, called kanji. If you have seen, people in India would traditionally soak rice in water, leftover rice in water in the previous night. In the morning, that is the breakfast they used to consume with added buttermilk or curd and salt. This practice has now considered to be a miracle for gut issues. And even if you have heard of this concept called ragi java or ragi ambli, they prepare it in the previous night. Fermentation process should take place. In the morning, if it is consumed, it will help your gut bacteria very positively. So these processes have caught up the trend. So what is the science behind it? It is the bioactive peptides. That is, when you allow a product for fermentation, the protein which is very difficult to digest or long strain proteins will be broken into small parts. So once this is broken into small parts, it is easy to digest and increases the ability of digestion. If you see again, which other food in India is consumed after fermentation? Idli, dosa, even this chole bhature. Bhature is also made after fermenting only. So all these concepts are catching up a lot. So read the two statements with respect to bioactive peptides. So it is about the fermentation process. Read the question, we'll discuss it after that. So what is the first statement? The consumption of fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi can contribute to enhanced immune modulatory functions in the human body. So they are fermented foods only. Yogurt is curds and kimchi is also a traditional food like that. Fermentation processes break down complex proteins in food into short protein fragments known as bioactive peptides, which possess properties like antimicrobial and antioxidant effects. So how does this breakdown happens? It is because of the presence of microorganisms. So in class 7th NCERT books, you have something called microorganism, friend or foe. In that chapter also they have explained that fermentation process happens because of the presence of good microorganisms, and they are the ones who break down the protein into small fragments called bioactive peptides. So this statement is rightly explaining why it is good for the body. So statement 2 rightly explains statement 1. Hence the answer will be A for this topic. So why it is in the news? Many people have started taking bioactive peptide therapy now. If they are not doing well in their health, if their immunity is very low, they'll take treatment called bioactive peptide therapy. So this has caught up a lot of information, attention of the people. Okay, so fermented foods enhance immune modulatory functions, well established health benefits from microorganisms and compounds. So microbial action during fermentation breaks larger protein into short fragments called 220 amino acids. Amino acid is the component of protein. So antimicrobial, anti-hypertensive, antioxidant, immune modulatory activities. These many benefits they are giving. Okay, this is one therapy. Then one more therapy you can look into with a little curiosity is hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Okay, this has now come in many newspapers already, and it's a very interesting idea called hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So what happens in this? It is usually given as a treatment to people who have been undergoing multiple rounds of chemotherapy. So chemotherapy reduces or increases oxidative stress on the cells. That is, the demand for oxygen from the cells will be very, very high in such patients, or also from patients who are suffering from fatty liver disease. So usually it is given as a treatment to these people, or let's say for people who have undergone a huge accident. So their body has got so much of injuries that the cell repair is not happening due to lack of oxygen in the cells. This is when we call the situation of oxidative stress in the cell. So what will be done? There will be a glass chamber in which the patient will be put inside. Okay, the person can go inside, sleep there for 1 hour. So in this entire chamber, when you are respiring a natural air, what all gases goes inside? We believe that only oxygen is going, but it's not only oxygen. Some other components also are inhaled into that. So as a result of which, in the entire air, what percentage is oxygen? Very, very less. So our body has to struggle to filter out oxygen to breathe in, and if you are not doing well, if you are not keeping well, this process itself will become difficult. So in hyperbaric oxygen therapy, you are put into a glass chamber where 100% oxygen will be given to you. So the moment you breathe, your body is not struggling to take up oxygen. So because of excess supply of oxygen, the cells will try to regenerate faster, the wounds will get healed, and the negative effects of chemotherapy will be very, very less. And now this has caught up so much of attention among the celebrity masses that it is 8,000 rupees per hour session, and people are going to take this for better skin, wrinkle free skin, better hair, because everything is again dependent on oxygen load in the body. So hyperbaric oxygen therapy is very, very soon catching up. And you would have recently heard about this cricketer called Rishabh Pant, who had met with a very brutal accident in the recent past. He also had undergone hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and he keeps taking it very frequently so that his body is able to play the matches well despite the major injuries. So two important therapies that have been in the news is bioactive peptide therapy, hyperbaric oxygen, HBOT it is also called, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT. Okay, so just read into this a little bit. Next question is, we have been seeing questions on astronomy a little bit, so we'll cover them a little. Brown dwarf and red dwarf. It is with respect to stars. Okay, what is the first statement? Brown dwarf are considered failed stars because they cannot sustain the fusion of hydrogen into helium in their cores. This statement is correct. The name itself is telling brown color is not so much of a color associated with liveliness. So if you see here, the fusion in the star should always keep on going to keep the star alive. But in this case, the temperature of the star is not at all capable enough to keep the star lively. So it is just lying there and almost closer to end of its life. Such stars are called brown dwarfs, whose fusion is not going on well with respect to hydrogen and conversion of that into helium. So first statement is correct. Second, red dwarfs are the most common type of stars in the Milky Way and have extremely long lifespan. This is also a right statement because red dwarfs are having huge amount of heat and light present in them, as a result of which they have ample amount of energy to convert this hydrogen into helium, and as a result of the huge energy present in them, they have a very long span of life, because the whole process sustains because of conversion of hydrogen into helium process. The third one, with both brown dwarf and red dwarf are similar in size to planet Jupiter. Brown dwarf is similar to planet Jupiter, but red dwarf is bigger than that. Okay, so this statement is wrong. So what will be the correct answer? Only two. Why this particular topic? It had come in one of the science and technology pages of Hindu recently. Okay, so brown dwarf and red dwarf. So what is the definition? You can remember that. Okay, so brown dwarfs are between gas giants and lowest mass stars. Their core temperature or pressure is insufficient for sustained hydrogen fusion, hence it is called failed star. Red dwarfs are incredibly numerous. They are in large scale and burn fuel slowly, that their lifespan can extend to trillions of years, far longer than the current age of the universe. Then brown dwarfs are roughly Jupiter sized, but red dwarfs are significantly larger, many times the size of Jupiter. So Jupiter, then brown dwarf will be similar to that, red dwarf will be larger than Jupiter. This is the idea of brown dwarf and red dwarf. Okay, next also is a similar concept on astronomy called Mira variable. Okay, this is called Mira variable stars, are pulsating red giant stars with a well-defined period luminosity relationship. Period luminosity is their ability to generate light. So the first statement is correct. Okay, it is a red giant star whose ability to give light is very different from others. So in the previous topic we saw that in red giants, how do they emit light? Due to the heat, temperature and pressure within the nuclear fusion reaction. But the second statement, if you see, the brightness variation in Mira variables is due to the nuclear fusion process in the core, is wrong statement. Why the variation of light happens? The light variation happens due to the opaque layer that is surrounding the star. So the opaque layer will be flapping, pulsating, okay, it will be moving from areas to areas. That movement leads to fluctuation in the light emitted by Mira variables. It is not due to nuclear fusion. This also had come as a small column in Hindu paper. So just know that it is a pulsating red giant. Mira variables is a red giant star, and its variation in the light is not because of nuclear fusion differences. It is because of the pulsating outer opaque layer. Because of the outer opaque layer changing its strands, the light amount, the brightness of the star also varies. This is the meaning of variable Mira stars. Okay, so the answer here will be C. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Fine, so if you see here, pulsating red giant star with period luminosity relationship, allowing astronomers to use them as standard candles to measure cosmic distances. They are used to see the distances as their light is fluctuating and easy to note. Brightness variation is caused by expansion and contraction of outer layers called kappa mechanism, not nuclear fusion in the core. Okay, why it is important? It is important for measuring cosmic distances. Instead of a star that is constantly bright, the star that is variable in light, you can see them better, and it will help you to measure the distance in the cosmic sky. Okay, so this is the meaning of Mira variables. It was in the news for this reason. Okay, next topic we again have with respect to a disease and a vaccine called Ed-Falcy-Vax vaccination. Ed-Falcy-Vax vaccination. Yes, this is about a vaccination for malaria. So which microorganism causes malaria? Microorganism, is it bacteria, fungi, viral, protozoan? Which one is causing malaria? Protozoan. Protozoan, that too, which one in that? Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium vivax. Two are there. So this particular strain called Et falcivax is against Plasmodium falciparum, not against the vivax variety. So the first statement, development of indigenous Et falcivax is significant step towards achieving India's malaria elimination goal 2030. So this vaccination comes means in entire Asian region, India has a high burden of malarial deaths. So it will reduce the target or reduce the number of people losing their life. Edfalcivax is a multi-stage vaccine that targets malaria parasite before it enters the bloodstream, thereby blocking both infection and transmission. That is, when the plasmodium is developing, it's not only in the initial stage, it's in every stage of its life cycle that the vaccination will impact. So it's not only killing the microorganism there, it is enabling the or stopping the microorganism from multiplying itself also. So the second statement is rightly explaining the first one. Okay, so the answer will be A for this. Edfalcivax is a multi-stage vaccine. That's a correct statement. Then also with respect to vaccines, look into Servavac. Servavac, you would be knowing, government has recently started a drive to give free Servavac vaccines to girl children around 16 years of age. So it is also indigenously built vaccination for cervical cancer. So which other cancer is preventable using a vaccine? Which other cancer is preventable? This is cervical cancer, probably the only cancer preventable by vaccine, but there is one more called liver cancer that is increased by hepatitis infection. If a person gets repeatedly exposed to hepatitis infection, it may lead to the development of hepatitis cancer or liver cancer. So most of the hepatitis diseases in India today are open to vaccination. So in some way it is also curable or preventable if the vaccinations are provided. Then which country is the first country to develop a vaccine against cancers as a single category? There is one country which has recently claimed that we have got a customizable cancer vaccine. That is, from person to person this vaccine will change, and it is mRNA based vaccine. Which could be the first country? Who had developed the first vaccine against COVID? Russia. This is also Russia. Okay, so the claims are yet to be studied by peer review groups, but according to Russia, they claim that this mRNA based vaccine is customizable from one cancer patient to another cancer patient, hence making its success rate very, very high. So other vaccines are basically same. One vaccine will be given to everyone, but cancer is not like that. It is a disease that is very specific to one's body. So this vaccine developed by Russia is said to be customizable based on the mRNA type of the person. Okay, so remember this information. Then an indigenous malaria vaccine boost Atmanirbhar Bharat in healthcare and R&D. Edfalcivax is a recombinant chimeric multi-stage vaccine of Plasmodium falciparum at multiple life stages, preventing bloodstream entry and minimizing community transmission. That is, from person to person transmission can be stopped. Okay, so next question is a very common topic seen in the news or seen in the regular dialogue all the time, called A1 and A2 milk. It's one of the reasons why people have, if you see anywhere, there have been many conversation on pure A2 milk available, it is good for health, A1 is not good for health. These are quite popularly seen in the public discourse. But what is the answer? We'll see, then we'll discuss on it. So what is the first one? A1 beta casein is found primarily in cow breeds from northern Europe, such as Holstein and Friesian. What is the answer for the first one? It is the correct statement. Do we have these cows in India, Holstein and Friesian? We have brought them in India during White Revolution. So it is hybrid varieties of cows called Holstein and Friesian, which are well known for A1 type of milk, and that protein in the milk is called beta casein A1. Okay, and it is suspected in some researches that A1 beta casein is harsh on the gut of a person, because the capacity of the human gut to digest it is very less, hence the chances of developing lactose intolerance is very high if you are consuming A1 beta casein milk. Second one, A2 milk is distinct because it contains both A1 and A2 beta casein proteins. It is wrong. A2 milk contains A2 beta casein. It doesn't have A1. Okay, it is having only A2 beta casein, which is a unique type of protein. So A2 beta casein is found in breeds like Guernsey and Jersey cows. What do you think? First statement is correct. Second is wrong. What about the third statement? Third statement is correct. Okay, if I replace these two and give you the name Amrit Mahal and Gir cows, it will still be true, because the local varieties of cows are known to have A2 beta casein, which is going to lead less gut irritability after consuming the milk. But again, remember, government or food and agriculture, government, FSSAI or any organization from the government's domain have not officially given a verdict on the difference between A1 and A2 milk. So it is just a narrative based on many research papers, but government itself has not declared the two types of milk available in the country. Let that be clear. Okay, so this is answer here. Second is wrong means 1 and 3 will be correct. Okay, so yes, not both 1 and A, only A2 is there. Next one is this FOXP3 gene, very important for this year's prelims. FOXP3 gene. Okay, so this is with respect to FOXP3 gene. Okay, here it is the topic that fetched the Nobel Prize in Medicals this time, and here we have to talk about T cells, and specifically there is a category called regulatory T cells. Okay, so regulatory T cells basically act as a watchman. So what is the idea of a watchman? The watchman has to detect and tell that this particular immune, let's say external agent is going to create a trigger system, and let's say some external person is entering into your body. So this is when this T, regulatory TREGs it is called. Okay, TREGs, regulatory T cells, they will alert the immune system that see somebody from outside is coming, please attack. So when this information is given, your immune system will attack this foreign particle and will lead to curing of the disease. But when will the body get to know where to stop? When will they get to know where to stop? What if they keep on attacking here and this body part only will get damaged because of your own immune system? Is it possible? It is possible. Okay, why? Because many of the people who do not have TREGs, in the TREGs there is a particular gene called FOXP3 gene. Okay, for those people, if there is a, we can say, what do you call, change in this gene, or there is a mutation and there is no FOXP3 gene present, then this TREGs will not know when to communicate to the immune system that stop, you are attacking your own body. There should be somebody who will tell this. It is told by TREGs, which has FOX3P gene. If there is a mutation in FOX3P gene, which is there in many people, the TREGs will not know when to stop the immune system. So that time what will happen? Your immune system will attack your own body parts. And this type of disease, what do we call it? We call it autoimmune diseases. So what is an autoimmune disease? The disease that is caused when your own immune system is attacking your body. So when your immune system is attacking your skin by not knowing where to stop, you develop a condition called psoriasis. If your skin immune system is attacking your bones without knowing where to stop, it is called rheumatoid arthritis. All these are coming under the category of autoimmune disease. And why this autoimmune disease is coming? Because somebody is not having this FOXP3 gene. So what is the answer for this? Yes, mechanism by which immune system creates memory cells after infection is wrong. A specific genetic master switch responsible for development and function of regulatory T cells that maintain self-tolerance. This will be the correct answer for this. Okay, it will maintain. It's a kind of regulatory switch. So FOXP3 gene is there means it will get to know where to stop or enable you to tolerate the immune system. So this is the discovery made recently by the Nobel Prize winners, and they have been got the award for this. So in the future, by changing this gene, you can stop the autoimmune diseases. Okay, so this is one topic. So answer will be master switch for research on scurry mice. This was the research. So without functional FOXP3 gene, TREX cannot form, breaking down peripheral immune system. So remember this term also, peripheral immune tolerance, the body's ability to tolerate its own tissues. So not about memory cells, thymus or antibiotics. It is about the FOXP3 gene. Your ability to tolerate your own immune system comes from FOXP3 gene. Okay, so 24th, this question is also interesting. Zinc ion batteries. Okay, zinc ion battery. There is only one more question. We'll complete that and leave. Zinc ion batteries are inherently, it is compared to sodium ion batteries. You can just read the question. So first statement, zinc ion batteries are inherently non-flammable and safer compared to conventional lithium ion system. The biggest threat about lithium ion system is that it will explode. Recently also there are episodes where while charging the vehicles have exploded. So the biggest fear is that, hence we are trying to create alternatives. So first statement has to be correct. Second, zinc ion batteries utilize a fully aqueous electrolyte solution that eliminates the risk of thermal runaway associated with organic solvents. So lithium ion batteries have organic solvents which will lead to thermal runaway or the fear of getting exploded and flammability. But zinc ion will use aqueous electrolyte. They are not helping the cell to catch fire. So it will prevent the flames from coming up even under extreme stress. So second statement is explaining the first statement rightly. So the answer for this will be A. Okay, zinc last year 2025 also we had got a question on batteries. So remember to note down the developments in battery technology. Okay, so safer eco-friendly alternative. So ZIBs use aqueous or water-based electrolytes, unlike lithium ions, flammable organic solvents that prevent combustion, directly explaining non-flammable nature. So this is a correct explanation. And next topic and the last topic is most important one, and this is in the news, like there is a whole concept and ecosystem getting developed surrounding this. It's very popular in the country now, so try to answer this. GLP-1 receptor agonists. So what is this GLP-1 receptor agonist related to? It is related to 3 more types called semaglutide, tirzepatide and liraglutide. This is the natural one. These are the artificial ones. So what is it related to? Weight loss drugs. Weight loss drugs. Okay, is it now legal in India? It is, and there are many non-patented versions available now. So as it is already entering into a generic market, the products have become quite affordable in the country now. So there is a very popular product here called Mounjaro. Okay, and why is it taken? If you take these injections, you can easily lose weight without doing any diet or anything like that. Why? Because it is not, is it helping you to burn your calories? It's not helping in burning calories in any way. It is helping you to eat less. Only simple thing it is doing is suppressing your appetite. When it is suppressing your appetite, your ability to eat comes down. When you eat less, automatically the calorie deficit as an aspect comes down and you will lose weight. So who is consuming this more now? People who are getting married. Okay, who are attending weddings or who themselves are brides and grooms. So there is an entire market now called Mounjaro Bride. That is, these brides will take the medication. The first thing they'll do after the marriage gets set is take a regimen of this Mounjaro drug, and by the time the wedding comes, they will lose weight. And after that, if you stop this, what is going to happen? You will again gain back weight. It's not permanent weight loss. Okay. Originally, it was developed to treat type 2 diabetes, and as a result of it getting saving an important health of the person, it is included in WHO's essential medication list, not for weight loss but for impacting diabetes. Then if you take this medication, as obesity comes down, the outcome of obesity is what? It may impact your cardiovascular diseases, it may impact your kidney. So if you take this medication, your cardiovascular health and kidney complications will come down. So this statement is also correct. The only incorrect statement here will be they work solely by increasing the burning of calories in the body without affecting appetite. They affect appetite only. They will reduce your appetite, you eat less, and remember the clinical trials and many other ideas suggest that as it is this GLP-1 receptor, who releases this in our body? It is released by pancreas. Okay, so if you are trying to modify what pancreas is doing by external agents, in the long run, if you stop taking this medication, what will happen? You will again gain weight. So you decide that I have so much of money, let me continue taking this throughout my life so that my weight is balanced. It is going to impact your pancreas very badly. In the later stages, might end up leading to pancreatic cancer. So this much information is enough, and now it is in the generic market, because the patents of many companies on this has already expired, and Indian companies have brought the duplicate versions of this into the market in dead cheap prices. Okay, that's the reason why there's a lot of news going on around GLP receptor 1 agonists. You may simply get semaglutide, tirzepatide, liraglutide were seen in the news related to which of the following. It is also about weight loss drugs. Okay, so this information is good. In addition to this, you can just go through the Nobel Prizes for chemistry and physics as well. One is quantum tunneling and the other one is related to a 3D structure. So both these will be added to this. Then most of the components we have covered. And one more extra thing you can do is just go through a list of international space missions that the world is planning. It could be with respect to recently concluded, the one that went to surround the moon and come back, for planned future mission on the moon, taken up by NASA basically. So these missions of space will become important. In India, the only one currently going on is Gaganyaan. We have completed that. Okay, so all the best for your prelims. Whatever could be done from my end, we have tried to do that for you. So any doubts and concerns, you have my Telegram ID, you can contact. Meet you again for mains preparation. I want to see all these faces again in the mains value addition classes for current affairs. Fine. All the best. Any doubts or concerns, you can reach out through the Telegram ID. We can connect with you. Thank you.